Alright, what's up, guys? It's Krod here. I wanted to talk about my post-fight reaction of. There was the Billy Joe Saunders versus Martin Murray. I'm not gonna get into that. That was a very boring fight. Really not that fun. But I'm gonna talk about my boy, Mr. Anthony Yarde versus Lydon Arthur. This is a very weird, anticipated bout that should have been in favor of Yarde's decision, but unfortunately, the judges gave it to Lydon Arthur. These guys are very good light heavyweights, but Anthony Yarde was being more busy on Lydon. Lydon wasn't really doing anything to the point of making Yarde uncomfortable, and I think that's what makes it a lot more weird of how Anthony lost his fight. Because if you just took a look at the fight, Lydon wasn't really throwing that many punches. He was loading up too much, and Anthony was giving Lydon a lot of issues off of his jab, and he was hard countering Lydon whenever he saw the opportunity. And Lydon wasn't really busy at all. He actually started getting busier in the later rounds, but that was so late into the fight that Anthony just kind of caught him off guard in a couple punches, and then that's what made the fight a lot more easier to score, because Anthony was landing the more effective punches. But sadly, Anthony did not get that decision. It unfortunately went to Lydon Arthur's favor, which I highly disagree in this decision. Anthony definitely did his thing. He's a very good boxer. He went to war with Sergey Kovalev, which ended in him getting knocked out simply due to the fact that he got tired and he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do against Sergey. And Sergey outpaced him, and Yarde got tired and got KO'd. But that was simply due to the fact that was his very first, I think, 12-rounder, if I'm not mistaken. But I think either or, Kovalev is a very good opponent, and that definitely got him better. Yarde is not a pushover. I just don't ever see how he loses to a guy like Lydon. I never even heard of this guy, but he's not that interesting of a fighter. He really made himself look like crap against Anthony, and I just saw it from my own perspective it made me think that Arthur was not even trying against Anthony, and Anthony was just he was pounding Arthur in so many ways to make it look like he was actually being more busier in the fight. So either way, it is what it is. That's the corruption in boxing. But it just so happens to make me think that whenever we get into these close fights in boxing, which I wouldn't even call it a close fight, it was just more to do with the political bias that people bring to the sport. That's what kind of destroys the whole aspect behind boxing, where when you have all these good big fights, or even credible fights, the judges just don't score it fair in a sense of them looking at the fights constructively and giving the fighters the proper scoring that a fighter should have. And that definitely needs to be taken out. But I think either or, this is a very controversial decision. I just don't know how Yarde had lost his fight when clearly he was the more busier opponent, and he did what he had to do. But it is what it is. I hate crappy judges in boxing. That's what gets me so angry about boxing. People make so many excuses for why this fighter has to lose versus that other fighter. It's the same situation between Gabriel Rosado and Danny Jacobs. I was gonna make a video about that, but I got lazy and I didn't want to make the video. I'll probably make it in the future, but that fight definitely should have went to Gabriel Rosado. He was more busier in the fight, and he did what he had to do against Danny, but Danny somehow gets the decision, knowing that Rosado had a much higher punching output than Danny Jacobs. So, this is kind of like the same situation with Anthony Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur. So either or, I just think this is a very bullshit decision, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Anthony Yarde deserved to lose in this fight? I don't think so. I think Yarde did what he had to do to try to win this fight, but it was a very weird decision that shouldn't have went in his favor for Lyndon Arthur. But hopefully Yarde, he could just come back and rack up more wins, because he's a good fighter, man, and he doesn't deserve to be thrown out of the conversation for world title contention. He's a very good fighter, and he can definitely make some noise at light heavyweight, or I would even probably say cruiserweight if we're gonna see him, ever move up in weight. I would hope his team could try to at least get him back in with a good opponent again. But I think he needs to run it back with Lyndon and probably knock him out, because Lyndon does not deserve this victory. This is almost similar to Rolando Romero versus Jackson Marinas. And I'm just hoping that there is a rematch to this, because Lyndon is not that good of a fighter, and he does not deserve anything but criticism for this weird decision that shouldn't have gone his way. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this decision should have been like this? And yeah, I guess I'll talk with you guys later, and thank you guys for everything. Bye.